Despite anti-bullying policies at schools, children continue to be bullied. And a study in the U.S. shows about 22% of students ages 12 to 18 said they were bullied at school. So, in honor of National Bullying Prevention Month, I'm joined today by Dr. Michelle Brassfield and Dr. Mike Skirius. Did I say that right?
You did.
From the University of Memphis, both professors of the School of Counseling, to talk about the role school counselors play in reducing those numbers. Welcome to you both. Glad to have you with us.
Thank you so much for having us.
First of all, let me start by asking you both, what inspired you to focus on counseling for young people in particular?
Yep. That's a great question. So actually, I was an elementary school teacher for a while, back a long time ago, and I noticed how just pivotal the role of the counselor was for my students that needed extra support. And so when I was encouraged to go back to graduate school, I looked into UofM's programs and found that program that's still existing now 20 plus years later.
Right. So through your own experiences,
right?
What about you?
I mean, for me, I don't know, I knew since about the end of high school that I wanted to be a therapist. I had some people that really kind of helped me with stuff that I got to deal with. Anyway, so
you wanted to help others?
Yeah, no, especially like with kids, because a lot of the stuff that I found myself helping friends with stuff that we were all kind of facing.
Right.
And it was just like, I need to know what I'm doing.
You were a natural at it, right?
Well, I needed to go to school for a while. But.
True. Okay, let's not encourage you. Yeah, right. Definitely go to school. Okay, Dr. Brassfield, how does bullying affect students? And I imagine it's not just the target of the bullying, too. It's people all around it, right?
Right, absolutely. So first we wanted to define bullying because it can get confusing with conflict and harassment.
Okay.
So bullying has three key elements. It's intentional, so intending to mean harm. There's oftentimes a power imbalance or perceived power imbalance, and then it's repeated. And so not just that it's going to continue happening, but we want to address it the first time it happens, right?
Right.
Not wait and say, well, has it happened more than once? We're going to get in there the first time so we can try to prevent it. But bullying can cause well, it can cause a lot of changes as far as their academics, their behaviors, their social emotional expressions. A great thing to do is just say, how was your day? What are they going to do? They're going to say fine, right?
Right.
So instead you can say, tell me about your day. Young kids might not express it, so you can do different things like have them draw their day, maybe get the dolls and act out their day, or stuffed animals, things such as that.
Right. I was going to ask you, because a lot of times children who are being bullied don't tell their parents, don't tell their teachers. I have one of those at home that was like that. Don't tell their teachers, and you find out years later. So how does a school counselor help with that?
Right.
Or a therapist.
Well, and I love what Mike does with his kids. You have another one too.
Yeah. So my wife and I have twin first graders, and for them, it's, when we get home, it's, hey, tell me about your high, tell me about your low. So we're not directly asking, hey, were you bullied today? Because with a lot of kids, that kind of just head-on question, like, I'm not gonna do that.
Clam up.
So, but if they start talking about like, well, I didn't like this part of my day, this was going on, it gives you kind of a side route into that conversation.
And so then that's the time for him as a parent to come to the school, contact the school, talk to the school counselor, let the school counselor look into it. Tennessee has very specific policies of how we handle any reports of bullying or suspicion of bullying, as far as how we investigate it and continue through that. And so the biggest thing is report.
Right.
And just continue talking to your children, staying engaged. Even if you don't have children, if you work with children, being that person that's there for them can be very, very important and instrumental.
Because and it's really important for parents to be involved in like this, because there's such a shortage of school counselors and therapists, pediatric therapists for people these days. I think school counselors, I wrote down 429 429 students per counselor in schools. That's incredible.
Exactly.
So what makes a prevention program truly effective when you're so short-handed like that?
Right, and so we approach that in what we call a tiered basis, a multi-tiered system of support. So we start at this very bottom level, and it's in a triangle. That's called Tier 1, and that's our biggest interventions that we give. And so that's for the whole student population. And so that's when we're going in and doing programs, classroom guidance to really teach students about bullying, conflict resolution, about being upstanders for their friends. Then we go into our targeted, which is a tier 2, and that could be group counseling, things that Mike might have continued to do when he worked at a school in a mental health capacity. And then your next one is your tier 1, which is a more intensive interventions, which would be like your individual counseling, working with parents, working with teachers, things such as that.
Right. Well, Mike, what's your best advice to parents out here watching today and counselors or anyone who may be involved with bullying?
I mean, you have to have the conversations, and I mean, that can kind of sound like a, well, of course, kind of thing, but
it's hard to do sometimes.
having open-ended questions, and really the big one that I find myself working with parents on, because like when I'm working with kids, usually the younger the age of the kid, the more I'm actually working with the adults.
Right.
With small kids, talk with the kid, not at the kid, and because it's really tempting as the parent. And I catch myself doing this with my boys. I want to fix stuff for them.
Right.
You know, they'll tell you if they feel like they can tell you. So open-ended questions, talking with them, not at them. And then if you say like, hey, I want to be able to help with you, you know, follow up. Kids are going to care so much more about the veracity of what you're saying than any kind of miracle cure. Most kids are going to understand that it's not going to be fixed in a day.
Right.
But if they know that you're going to back them up, then they'll start talking.
All right, well, very good. Well, Dr. Brassfield and Dr. Skirius, thank you both so much for coming in today and talking about bullying, because it's still an ongoing problem for so many kids these days.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so
us.
much.
Yeah.
Really appreciate it. We'll be right back. Oh, time for